What is up, Maniacs? Welcome back to Sound and Pound. It is June 18th, Tuesday, 2024. We are your hosts, as always, Drake Briggs and Alex Behunin, here to bring you the wild wackiness, all the goods, everything going on in the world of mixed martial arts. And Alex, we have a pretty loaded weekend, actually. We have a triple header for the old Civil War, if you will, the turf war that we'll get to later. All that fun stuff. We'll have UFC Vegas 93 to talk about if we want to, and some other things that happened in the world of mixed martial arts. But other than that, my man, it has been a very long feeling week for me. I mean, I had the day off. You covered for me like a gentleman. So how are things? How is it going, brother? You're muted. I got you.
Oh, yo, you are very welcome, and I'm good, bro. I'm good. How was the trip across America?
Okay, so I will tell you guys, for those that don't know, I am in Memphis, Tennessee now, living here after living in the Portland area, Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington area for all of my life, except for a little bit in August 2019 when I was in China. But yeah, it was. I'll tell you this. The big thing is I got here in 3 days. I left Friday morning, got here. Was it Sunday at like 6 p.m.-ish? So I got here pretty quick. I didn't really take time to enjoy things because I just wanted to get across, not chill with all my stuff packed into my car. All the way up until I made a stop in Ogden, Utah on the second day. And after that, the final stretch from there to here, it's just like flat nothingness out there. So it was kind of like brutal in terms of nothing exciting to look at, or keep yourself like, oh, this is cool and whatnot. Yeah, it's the middle of the country, which is it is what it is. Like, that's the best way I can put it. But other than that, a lot of driving, a lot of sore knee action, soreness from sitting and driving for 34 hours total or so. But hey, you do what you got to do. It was fine. It was smooth, thankfully. No issues, nothing like that. But yeah, after Utah, nothing really interesting to see.
Damn, that's tough. Did you listen to a lot of podcasts, or did you listen to what'd you
Yes.
listen to?
Yeah, so I mean, after so long, music would kind of not keep you awake or anything. Right? Like, even though I'm a big metal guy, dude, I sleep on airplanes with like my fucking heavy shit playing. Like, I'm just so used to it. I can sleep with it.
Fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I listened to, let's see, I did a couple Chris Van Vliet podcast interviews. So shout out to him, the best in the business as far as I'm concerned with interviewers. He's great. I did some Daniel Tosh show, his new podcast show. If you've heard of him or seen him, amazing. I'm sure most people have. He's a pretty big deal in the comedy world. Very secluded. Let's see. I caught up on some of the post-fight stuff from MMA Fighting. I think those were kind of the main ones. I did some Almost Friday. Those guys are hilarious.
No true crime, bro. What's the matter with you, bro?
I needed like something engaging to laugh with, Like I needed comedies because
you're like, I'm fucking driving. Fuck this.
Yeah, I know. I noticed with like I said, Chris Van Vliet, fantastic. But with just interviews that are not funny necessarily, just they're good and all, but I need something to make me react and keep me kind of feeling a certain way. So that was most of the trip. And sometimes just silence was nice. After so long listening to things for so long, it's good to kind of do nothing. So
yeah,
that was nice too. But we made it. So all right, you guys, let's get into it with everything that did happen this past weekend. I caught up on most everything. I mean, the things that I needed to, right? The important things. So maniacal moment of the week, Alex. My goodness. I'll let you start it off. I have one that you might take from me. We have some really good options here, actually. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the Tank Davis knockout, dude. He is just do not get hit by this guy. he's so good. He's so good. He will put your lights out. And Frank Martin was touching him up. It was a very competitive fight, and then once Tank Davis just catches you, I feel like he just like lulls you in, and then bop, and that's it. That's it. So yeah, that's I just wanted to kind of shout out Tank Davis. I also wanted to throw in Ryan Garcia being a complete menace on social media again.
I've missed it. I haven't seen any of
Oh,
his stuff.
bro, I mean, just during the fight, he was talking about,
Trolling.
dude, talking about Caleb Plant's wife, and then Caleb Plant hits him with a beer at the fight, and then is like, "I fucked your wife," and blah 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 blah. It was just like,
Oh my.
it was utter chaos, but it's just entertaining to watch from afar.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
That is something. I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, you guys, of course, I forgot to do the plug here to remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. If you're new here, ask your questions throughout the show. We will get to the ones that are less timely with what we're talking about at the very end, but we'll make sure to get to them. I realized last week I forgot to fucking do that, Alex, because I think we were yep, we missed them. We didn't have that many though, so I'm sorry, guys. But if you still want to ask them again, please do.
Or Jake's just gonna be like, "Fuck you again." We're not answering nothing.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna blame Lance. He distracted me, threw me off with the lineup. Sorry, there, Spouty. But all right, for my maniacal moment, Alex. I mean, I'm scrolling through the comments here, and we'll get to you guys too, but not seeing the correct answer here. There's only one answer for maniacal moment this week, Alex, and it has got to be Tim Johnson getting kicked in the balls while he almost knocked out. What was the guy's name? I'm blanking on it at the moment.
Something Marquez.
Yes, Danilo Marquez. That was who it was. Yeah, it pretty much knocks him out as he gets elevated off the ground from a nut shot. Looks like the fight is almost gonna be over. Like he took a sweet time. Don't remember if it was the full 5 minutes. Fight resumes, then he finishes him anyway. But like, that you guys want to talk about our PFLator segments or those moments of the week? Definition.
That's it.
By the book right there.
That's
I mean, dude, that was on par for me. Like if that would have stopped. If that would have been stopped from the nut shot, that would have been like, you remember the Eric Prindle, Thiago Santos back in the day, the butthole kick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Where does that rank for you as the most ridiculous like ends to a fight? Because that is still, that's up there for me, man. He clearly did not get kicked in the nuts. It was his butthole.
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys haven't seen that, go look it up.
Yeah, it's got to be top 3 for sure, 1000%.
Yeah, that was something. But I also, on a more serious note, I got to give a shout, of course, to Liz Carmouche, Alex, because whether you like the fight or not, going into it or during it, Hail Mary of Hail Mary, she was legitimately, officially down on the scorecards, would have lost 2 rounds to 1. Of course, she would have won the last round if it went to the cards, but she did lose the first 2 on the judges' scorecards. It was close and competitive. Conor made some incredible adjustments. I mean, the first fight was not very long, so it's like, well, what is that adjustment? It's just whether it's not preparing better or what have you. Went out there and, man, 8 seconds away. Liz Carmouche, champ for a reason. One of the pioneers, just veteran savvy. I mean, got to be on your P's and Q's. Can't chill for a second, and kind of found that out. Absolutely heartbroken for her. Like, this is one of those bittersweet ones. The first fight was. I like both ladies a whole lot, but man, that's like put some fucking respect on my name moment for Liz, who just been in this spot where they give her the toughest / pointless matchups because she already beat her previous 2 opponents and would have what she needed. If she didn't finish and won just a decision, she wouldn't have got in the playoffs, right? Like 1000%. The math on this was, oh man, it's pretty wild. So
she went against the PFL's plans.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So now they're like, shit. And still it ends up with of course, she fights Santos before. Like, the finals are next for her. So it's just crazy, man. I can't get over how this whole thing's played out, but it's making for all the makings of her going out there and just ruining the whole thing and winning it for them against Dakota in the finals. But I will say, Alex, I don't think Jenna's going to be an easy fight for her. Like, this is finally where Dakota fights in the next, obviously, round, because she won in the main event, of course. Vintage, exactly what you expect from her, how it should have went. But Jenna Bishop's going to be the first like real test. Do you agree with that?
1000%.
Yeah. So
Jenna Bishop looked very good against Talia Santos.
yes, yeah, did much better than she arguably had any business to. So shouts to her as well. And then I do want to also throw in for maniacal moment, Alex. Tatsuro Taira's win. Like he looked pretty darn good out there, and of course it wasn't a
Yeah.
win by the. I thought he did better than I thought he would. I was most impressed with the final sequence, though. I don't know. I didn't see if Alex Perez if he had this injury going in because it didn't look like you can sometimes see the kneecaps pop or whatever exactly the injury is. But I was just insanely impressed by Tetsuro Taira's back control, which we know is already incredible. But the way he locked in that body triangle, and then I've never seen someone really try to utilize their body weight momentum the way he was, where like going fucking horizontal with his body to bring him down, which ultimately, forced the knee injury. But that specifically was very impressive to me. But you weren't blown away by it.
Nah, he lost the first round, and
I don't think it was by a lot though.
he still lost the first round,
Okay, okay,
and
fair enough.
and he got tagged up. Like he got beat up. So it just shows that having a 22-year-old chin still works, and
I hope so.
and yeah, I mean, obviously the potential's there. It sucks that we didn't see this fight conclude without an injury because like that would have
Cleanly. No.
that's really wanted what I wanted to see. And Alex Perez looked really good up
Yeah.
until the injury, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know. Everybody was, oh my god, Tyra's the next guy. It's like, bro, like,
Not even close.
come
Bisping was
on,
way overdoing it.
dude. Yeah, he
That
was like,
was
oh
insane.
yeah, like, come on. I know you have to hype this shit card, but come on, bro, come on.
Yeah, that was a bit much. I will definitely agree with that. But all right, let's get to some of these comments here because you guys have some great suggestions. And obviously, in terms of like I said, whether it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, but with maniacal moment of the week and the story aspect, Alex, I mean, Ghost hits on it how it has to be Conor pulling out, and some fight fans were still holding out hope before it was officially announced. I mean, like I said, I don't want to say I was holding out hope, but I was, believing that he would do anything in his power to not pull out of a fight because he takes so much pride in that. He's used that against people, and I love how RDA went back at him this week. That was brilliant, so perfect, and well deserved because that whole thing was fucking dumb when it happened. Um, still, we can only trust what we trust. Like it might not be an injury. I'm not gonna be conspiracy guy, but the way it's so secretive, who knows if we'll ever know exactly what
It's an
the
injury.
deal was here.
I can confirm it's an injury.
All right, well, still, you never know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it sucks, and like, yeah, I mean, now you can't use that. I've never pulled out of a fight, but also that whole thing was when he wasn't a trillionaire, right? So I'm like, where he never has to fight again ever again in his life. So like, there's just his
yeah,
things in his life are it's just completely different. So, but I do really hope he fights later this year. Hopefully, I feel bad for Mike Chandler. Hopefully, it's him, but who fucking knows?
right. So do you? I don't remember when we were talking in DMs or Slack or anything, but from what you know, how serious do you think it is or feel it is? I guess
It's not that
nothing.
serious an injury. I'm assuming they're gonna try and make a pay per view for Vegas sometime in the fall. So
Yeah, yeah, that would make sense here. But yeah, Ghost also saying, I think this whole situation is just really funny. Make Chandler do a whole season of tough and sideline him for almost 2 years for the idea of a pointless fight at 170, and then just throw it out.
ugh,
I
yeah,
mean, like I've said the whole time, that's the shittiest, like worst part about this whole thing is just we're being deprived of Michael Chandler chaos, for this fight that still might not happen.
and there's a good chance that UFC goes, what's a bigger fight, Conor McGregor versus
Yeah,
Michael Chandler or Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway? Hmm. What's
I
gonna make it?
mean,
What's gonna make us the most money? Max Holloway, you're in, bro.
yeah, like the story element alone, take away
Yeah.
everything going on with Holloway, right? Like if he lost his last fight, that still would be bigger, I think. Like it's man, he's got to be got to find the lucky well or something, Michael Chandler, because it's slipping away, man. It is slipping away. We'll see how that all plays out. But
Just re-sign Eddie Alvarez and do the trilogy already.
ooh, that's perfect. Yeah, he's waited this long. Do that one. Let's get
Come
that out of the
on,
way.
let's
No
go.
one's gonna complain about that. I promise you. Rio here says Drake is now in the flatlands of Memphis. A Memphisite, Memphisianian. I know. I wasn't sure what they'd be called out here. Someone from Memphis. Are you gonna jump on board the Bryce Mitchell train and call the Earth flat and spouting conspiracies? It's hilarious. I don't know if you saw me tweet that, Alex. But I was like, I get it. I understand why he feels this way now because it is flat as shit out here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that was a joke. I wasn't serious, but yeah, it's fitting. It is fitting. And Little Rock is actually, I think, 3 hours from me too. It's kind of like a Seattle distance, so comparatively back home. So have you seen? I'm sure you've seen these complaints or observation stats, Alex. But Mateus here says the new gloves since introduction: 37 fights, 2 knockouts. I think this is too soon. Too soon to
It is.
say this, but I don't know how the logic would even apply to that because they're a little bit smaller, aren't they? Because I know you saw them, right? I don't know if you saw the old ones or put them side by side, but I remember Garrett Armfield did that comparison, and they looked
Yeah, I
like
mean, dude, they're thinner. So I mean, you're
yeah,
getting more of the. I think, bro. I think what honestly what it comes down to is UFC 302 to UFC Vegas 93 have been dog shit cards.
right, right.
So I think it just. I think that's more of a correlation than the fights and knockouts. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So we will have to get some more time here, more of a bigger sample size. But I think it's funny how people are pointing that out so quickly. So,
Yeah.
James says the maniacal moment for me is finding out that Drake looks like Cagecraft podcast host Dylan Knotzman. Not sure if Alex knows who Dylan is, but he's cool beans. That was yes, a funny comparison you made there, James, and especially with the shirt he was wearing in that picture because I have a similar one to that. Oh, this is a good one from Rain. No pun this week. Crazy story is Chatri this morning claiming that one is finally profitable after 12 years via Facebook, then immediately lying that they are #1 combat sports league. A lie to begin with. I mean, yeah, for him to say that this year of all years, by the end of the year, we're gonna keep it going, pal. Keep it going, I guess.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Mateus is driving and watching fighting. I should have done that actually. That would have been a great time to catch up on it. I mean, not like actually watching, but it'd be a good background one. Is that, by the way, is that multiple episodes, Alex? Like the fighting thing?
3 episodes.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to that yet. Synchro says, guys, you know what my maniacal moment is. Linton Vassell from Milton Keynes pulled off the upset win in a fight he probably shouldn't have against Moldavsky. Yeah, I was like packing when that happened, and like middle of the second round, I was like, I see how this is going. I'm not gonna watch, so I didn't finish the fight. But congrats to Linton. Yeah, he's got what? It's 2-1 now. They were tied before this, and so he's got the edge on the trilogy.
Do the trilogy.
Crazy. Just crazy. Yay. Oh man. Okay, let's see what else we got here. You guys hilarious. Yes, thank you. What is up? Don't know the name, but we appreciate you. Only in PFA Cornelius says, I thought it was insane that Bisping said that it was on purpose and not an accident that Perez's knee blew up. It was totally an accident. I've seen standing by triangles and they usually just fall over. I didn't hear him say that, but yeah, he was really on the Tyra the Tyra hype train there, Alex. You probably didn't even hear it because you were there, right? So
yeah, I did not hear it. But I heard him enter the cage and was like, "Oh yeah, Tyrese, one of the best performances I've ever seen." Or whatever, like
insane. Yeah.
All right, bro. Get on your knees somewhere, bro.
I know. Gunther asking about the maniacal moment. Can it only be a crazy story from any combat sports or just MMA? Hey, feel free to inject whatever you want. We typically select, I do anyways, MMA things. Alex went with a boxing one today. We'll do a fight or a story or both, as you can.
Whatever's maniacal, bro.
That's pretty much whatever fits the bill. Mateo says my problem with the gloves is for UFC 302. The logo sticker was falling off. That was just like annoying for people with OCD, aesthetically, but it is hilarious how that is happening to them. Jin says, thank you to Alex for calling out the bad Apex cards. I mean, hey, man, am I not doing it too?
It's coming. There's more coming.
Don't you worry. Oh, man. All right. Well, with that in mind, perfect. We will get to the underrated moment of the week, Alex, which I think there are some good choices here for this one, but I'll just say right away, I'm going to stick with UFC. I know we could probably pick some from PFL, but Weston Wilson getting robbed, totally robbed of a bonus. My goodness. Triangle armbar, gets slammed, pulls that off. And what was it? What do we got here? A minute 49. Brother, give that guy some money. Did they not like him? What happened here?
Yes.
Yes, that's the answer. What do you got? You agree with that one, or you got a different one?
No, that's a really good one. I'm just gonna do just the Apex show in general, the Vegas 93. It was just dog shit, and I'm gonna go. I'm confident when I say this. It was the worst Apex card they've put on so far, and
Great week for me to miss.
and I went back. The only one that I had above it was Normal Dumont versus Aspen Ladd. That was the only. That's the worst card, but this one beat that one because while the main event of that card was dog shit, at least it had finishes and some fun finishes, and it had Nate Landwehr on it. So I was comparing the two. They're both bottom of the barrel. But Vegas 93 is by far the worst Apex card they've put on so far, and I'll go to fucking war for it. So.
Wow, there we are. Man's dying on a hill today.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Yep. And which is funny because it was the 100th Apex event, which is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Which makes it even worse.
That is sad, dude. I mean, geez. When you got no offense to these guys, right? But you got Miles Johnson and Douglas Silva in
the co-main event, bro.
Wild.
That's probably by far the worst co-main event ever.
I mean, geez, yeah, it's definitely up there. I'm gonna play very brief devil's advocate. We did lose things. It was hurt from some situations that doesn't make it better.
How the fight played, how the fights happened, and how on Saturday, it's the worst fight card of all time.
All right. Well, I appreciate a good firm.
I mean, even if Tagir and Josh Van were on there, it's probably still the worst. It's probably still the worst fight card of all time. Like, dude, it was so bad, so bad. There was several times I was sitting there, cage out, like, what the fuck am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
Like, dude, what am I doing here? Like, I'm blessed and honored that I am a credentialed UFC person, but like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like,
oh man, that makes me so happy that I didn't see this one in full. I picked around like last night to catch up on things.
Dude, man. So I hope to God UFC Saudi is good. And then we get International Fight Week.
Yes.
If we can go back 3 episodes, we were so happy for June.
I know.
And now we're like limping along. Like,
already,
please, come on, help us.
It has been a tough time, very tough time. And as Jesse says, but UN's Apex credentials have just left the chat.
Fuck.
No God, kidding.
Damn it.
Oh, damn it. Shout outs to the man himself, the godfather of MMA Mania.
That fucking go, bro.
Mm-hmm. That is funny. But yes, we'll get to UFC Saudi here in a moment. But Rio asking, what about Quinlan testing positive for multiple drugs and the UFC giving him fights for underrated moment? Did I miss his positive testings? What happened with this?
So he tested positive for steroids after his Contender Series fight.
Okay.
And I was the first person to interview him, and he just said, "Yeah, I took it because I didn't feel I was good enough to compete."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then he knocks out Jason Witt in his UFC debut, and then just gets absolutely demolished in the next 2. And then his fight on Saturday, a lot of people thought he won, but like I think what it all comes down to is he came to the UFC at 5-1, and it was just too early for him to come.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Go saying Andre moment. He stand versus Armfield. Only fight worth watching.
Dude, that not getting fight of the night was a travesty.
Yeah, that's what shout outs to Mike Heck and New York Rick were saying on the post show. When I was listening to
Gabriel Fernandez and Carly Judy's fun fight for what it was, for a very low level fight, but it's a travesty that poor Brady and Garrett didn't get.
Who was deciding on this weekend? Who was making the choices here?
Matchmakers, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
or the person who does the quota for women getting the fucking fight of the night.
Hey, I'm not going to complain about that, but but I mean, it is weird because Tyra got the other one, right? Like,
yeah,
very strange. I don't know how, in what world you don't give Weston Wilson one of those. You know, it's insane. It's fucking insane to me, but yeah. Life goes on. You gotta not make enemies, I guess. So, all right, let's move on to this weekend. Mania mainline time, Alex. Let's inject our favorites of the week. Whole lot to choose from. Like I said, 3 events. This is the first time I think PFL is holding a Bellator same week, so that's fun. We got the show in Salt Lake City, which Alex is going to tomorrow. Sorry, well, I don't really want to bring it up, but then Dublin on Saturday, head-to-head with UFC Saudi. I'm not sure about the same timing, but that will be interesting. So we will have our fun optional segment here coming up. But Alex, like I said, a lot to choose from across every show this weekend. What are you most looking forward to, though? I have a pretty decent list here.
Yeah, there's a bunch. To be honest with you, like the one on UFC Saudi, like that really, I'm pretty excited for is, funny enough, Kelvin Gastelum versus D-Rod. I just think that fight is, I think it's just gonna be chaos. It's just gonna be fun. Both guys just like to come forward. I doubt that Kelvin's gonna use his wrestling. Like,
It's been a long time.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long time, and I don't think he's gonna start again against D-Rod. So I think that fight's just gonna be utter chaos. Both guys need to win. Both guys love to punch. Both guys are Mexicans fighting in Saudi. Like, but I think it's gonna be fun. That one, main event of PFL Salt Lake City, Clay Collard versus Mads Burnell. That is just a recipe for a car crash. I mean, every fight that Clay Collard's in is a car crash, and Mads Burnell is going to meet him. So that's very, very fun. I'm very interested about Rob Wilkinson versus Josh Silveira.
Me as well, yeah.
I don't know how that fight's going to go, and if Josh is going to really rely on his wrestling and grappling. So yeah, and Bellator has, I mean, obviously the debut of Paul Hughes.
Right.
And nice to see Jason Jackson. He's fighting a very tough opponent.
Yeah.
So yeah, and of course the main event of Saudi, but we will get to that.
Of course. Yeah, I know. When you spread it out, there's a lot of good happening there. You said Wilkinson and Silveira. Also looking forward to that one. I think that Davlajan and Simon Biong, that could be, we could get a quick sleeper out of that one. It would be more so probably Davlajan knocking out Biong, just because he's got a pretty darn good chin. Does old Dovs there. Over in the UFC, I'm looking forward to Renat versus Dalby. I think that should be an interesting one for as long as that lasts. I mean, Nicholas Dalby, can't count that guy out, as he's proven. Obviously, we got the return of Shara Bullet taking on John Luderbach, right? Or Joylton, excuse me.
Get it right.
I know, who was I thinking? Why is there a John Luderbach? But Shara Bullet, of course, a lot of hype around this guy. Was it just the Pirate, or is there something else in his nickname? He's the Pirate, but obviously people were trying to get him to fight friggin' Paulo after his his debut. Some crazy shit there, trying to rush this guy. We definitely shouldn't do that. So see how he performs here in this one. Will be interesting to see. And then I'm curious to see Shinobu Ota in a cage. Of course, the Olympian silver medalist from Ryzen Bantamweight, competing in Bellator. He just got a change on opponent. Again, that whole fight is falling apart, but now he's taking on Roger Blanc, who Not really sure who that is, but we'll see how that goes over in
You don't know.
Dublin.
You don't know who Roger Blanc is, bro?
I know, man. Come on. Probably some local Uber driver. Just making pasta on the side. Norbert Novigny versus Dalton Rasta, Alex. I'm kind of curious you didn't mention that one. That's
No, I was gonna do it, but I couldn't say Norbert's last name, so I didn't want to like butcher it. So
that's why.
yeah,
You son of a bitch.
yeah. So I left it off my list.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that fight's gonna be sick. Pretty big step up for him. I don't know, not a huge step up, but this is a good testing point for him, I think, from how he's looked so far. Yeah, Norbert, bright prospect.
Don't you say Sinead versus fucking Blancow.
No, that was my last one. That was my last one. I like me some Anger Fist. I'm not gonna lie here, and I have a mini rant coming later in the show, so you can get excited for that. But well, let me see. I think the order here. No, that's right. Okay, yes. So then we have our main events, our trio of main events here, Alex. So let's start off with I guess technically the first one will be the PFL, right? That'll be on, was it Friday? Friday is when the show actually is. So Collard versus Burnell. What exactly is the prediction here? How you think this one's playing out? I'm expecting. I think really it should be. It'll come down to whose chin kind of gives first, and I think Clay will be the one to. He's just built for these kind of fights, right? A little bit more than most.
Yeah, no, I think Clay should take it. I think it's gonna be a close fight. It's gonna be a violent fight. But I think Clay's just gonna be a little bit more slick and outpoint him.
Yeah, he's also, I think, a lot more versatility in his like offense than people give him credit for. So really looking forward to anytime he fights. But yeah, I agree. He'll probably get the job done there. Then Jason Jackson title defense. Ramazan Nurmagomedov, man. Jason Jackson has turned into one of those guys who you got to stop doubting him. It gets easy for whatever reason. Just you look at the styles on paper. Where this, I'm curious what the odds are. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a little bit of an underdog just because of, Nurmagomedov's style, the undefeated record, all those things that, these guys typically get, which is fair in most cases. But Jason Jackson, after what he did to Amasov, you probably stopped doubting this guy. He's very, very legit, very powerful. One of the hardest punchers in the welterweight division across the globe. I mean, seriously, the ass-kicking machine for a reason. I'm going to believe in him, Alex. I think across a full 5, he'll find a finish at some point. Like, I'm done doubting him after the Amasov one because I was everything I just said that people need to stop doing. I was in that boat, so he's good. It's crazy to look at his career, man, from the Ultimate Fighter, and just looked like just a powerful dude, nothing special, could win fights against guys around that level at the time. Never thought he'd go anywhere. Now he's one of the best welterweights in the world, like really. So I'm done doubting him. I think he'll put away Ramazan first loss.
Ultimate
a little bit
Fighter,
later though, maybe.
Ultimate Fighter and Contender Series.
I don't even remember him being on Contender Series. Really? That's insane, dude. I would love to see him in the UFC welterweight division right now, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm picking Jason Jackson just because of his last fight and his last win. Like I said, I'm just not going to bet against him, but if he loses, I wouldn't be surprised just because Ramazan is just like super good and underrated. Yeah, I like, and I'm kind of like I'm trying to figure out something like to like really gauge maybe like their wins or like their resumes, and like Ramazan obviously hasn't beaten the guys that Jason has, but like he has some pretty good wins under his belt, like finishing Jalil Willis, which is pretty good. Yeah, I'm just going Jason Jackson, but I'm not super confident.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, then let's get over to the UFC's debut in Saudi Arabia. Let's start with the co-main event, Alex, because we got the Russians going at it. We got Sergey Pavlovich, first fight back since Tom Aspinall waxed him in 69 seconds there. Perfect. What a sentence I just said. That could be taken in different ways.
That was good.
Thank you. Taking on Alexander Volkov. Drago is back. Fascinating fight, I think, on paper, especially when you look at just the body types of these guys. I'm very much looking forward to it. Um, how Sergey is going to rebound is kind of the biggest question of this one, because Alex, I don't know if you were aware, but I think that Volkov, I think he's tied for longest winning streak in the division right now. Very sneakily, very quiet at heavyweight. Has it's tied with what Carl somebody, one of the
Carl
Carls.
Williams.
I think
Carl
so.
Williams.
I think they have the longest winning streaks in the division. So yeah, I mean that's fun. The thing I always say about Alexander Volkov is when the guy is able to dictate and manage the pace, his precision and with his combinations at heavyweights, he utilizes his length very well and is very nasty with those combos when he gets them off. A sniper of sorts, kind of a cumulative damage type of guy. We've seen him knocked out before, and obviously we just saw Pavlovich get knocked out, and then the Alistair Overeem one, which is more of a ground and pound situation. So I don't apply that or equate it the same as the Aspinall one. So I think that this will be a fight where Volkov wants to make it last a little bit longer. Of course, keep Pavlovich, keep his power away. Of course, not that Volkov doesn't have power, but we've seen Pavlovich has equalizer power. That massive X factor shot. So it's just a matter, I think, of in the end, if he can touch Volkov, and that's been his thing. That's just been Pavlovich's thing. If he can touch your chin, you are in trouble. This is tough. Before I decide fully on who I'm going with here, what are you feeling? You believing in him?
Yeah, it's going to come down to if Sergey. It's either Sergey first round knockout or Alexander Volkov finish or decision. And I don't know if Sergey is going to be able, because dude, you look at Volkov's record. Derek Lewis is the only person to knock him out in the UFC.
Yeah,
and he's only been submitted by Tom Aspinall, and then he lost a boring decision to Cyril Gahn and Curtis Blades, right? So, I mean, he only lost to the very tip top, and he's only been knocked out by Derek Lewis
in a fight he was winning till
and
the
he
very
is
end.
1000%. So, I'm riding with Drago, bro. I think he's gonna beat Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's kind of coin flip for me because of that, but yeah, I think the size will be interesting for him to deal with too. So I'm gonna go with you. As much as I like Pavlovich as well, I like both of these guys, but yeah, I think I'll lean a little bit safer with Volkov. And again, see if he can extend that sneaky winning streak, man. It's crazy. So there we have it. But all right, the main event though, Alex, incredibly intriguing. We have the potential for a big shakeup in the middleweight division quicker than we would have anticipated. Ikram Aliskerov was supposed to fight on Saturday. Instead, he's taking a trip across the world to go fight Bobby Knuckles in Saudi Arabia. 5 rounds, all that fun. Boy, oh boy, too much too soon? Or what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm picking Bobby Knuckles. I just, it's crazy. The odds are very
Pretty
close,
tight.
very, very close. Yeah. Rob's a minus 154, and
Wow.
Ikram's plus 120. So I think the odds makers are kind of relying on Whittaker's chin not being as iconic as it once was. Obviously, he got finished by DDP and Izzy, but I just think I just don't see Ikram beating Robert Whittaker, and I was confident Robert Whittaker was going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Like I was picking Whittaker to win that all day long. So yeah, I'm done. I don't think it's going to be a finish, but I'm picking Rob.
I think the kind of biggest thing about these two matchups that he had, the Chimaev one and then this Aliskerov one here, is that 5-round experience like that
1000%.
Whittaker has compared to these guys. And not particularly just the fact that he has had these 5-round fights, but who he had them against, Alex. Like, we remember the Yoel Romero fights, which are just so mind-blowing. I think people don't really give them enough credit as time has gone on, because I was thinking about the first fight, like yesterday or whatever.
This is prime Yoel Romero too, prime.
Yes, yes, but like just insane how the first fight, he loses the first 2 rounds comfortably because his knee, he like partially tore something, right? He fucked his knee up, rallies back in the final 3 rounds, steals it away, and then of course the madness of the rematch. Um, I mean, those fights were like 20 rounds extent, just kind of the toll he's talked about, or the experience gained from him. And Whittaker's never ever been a guy who slows down either. He fights he's very calculated with his game planning and the way he utilizes and maximizes his time in those kind of fights. With a guy like Ikram here, I could see it be kind of similar to that, where Whittaker doesn't go super hard or anything early. Maybe, I hate to say a guy gives up like a round or two, but to warm up or get going a little bit later. We've seen this plenty of times, but with the experience difference here, he'll be a little bit more on the back foot, I guess you could say, and feel it out with Ikram maybe getting the edge in the first round at least, and then we'll see how the second round goes. But as the fight goes on, like, he's going to start styling, doing his thing. And again, people mentioned the chin. I really haven't fallen into that belief of it fading, because again, we saw him get his head almost kicked off by Paulo Costa and didn't even go down. So he is still very, very durable and just incredibly technical with his striking. Like, still doesn't get, I think, maybe as much credit as he deserves. Should be able to chain together plenty of great combinations against Ikram here, whether he's applying the pressure or it's coming at him. And again, he's got fantastic takedown defense, Alex. Like when Dreykus got him down, that was kind of from some surprises. And Dreykus is also insanely underrated as a grappler. We just haven't seen it as much in the UFC, maybe at least in these couple recent fights. But yeah, I think this is going to be too much too soon as well. And the short notice, I don't think helps Ikram at all. Like, to plan for a guy like Whittaker would have been a big deal for him, especially with 5 rounds. Like, if it was a 3-round fight, I'd feel a little bit differently. But yeah, I think we should see a pretty comfortable Whittaker a performance here, kind of classic one. And with the extra rounds, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a late finish, but I'll stay safe with a decision win too. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think we will learn a whole lot about where exactly Ikram is, win or lose in this one. Like, this is a perfect test to see if he's ready for what, the top 15. Had he fought a top 15 guy yet? No,
he knocked out Phil Haas and then beat Warley Alves. So
right. So yeah, this is it's a pretty big step up, but the guy is good. Like, he's got all the makings to be someone who's hanging around, as we have seen plenty in recent fights. So, all right, that will wrap up the Mania mainline. As we'll get to Barton's question here real quick, asking, what are your thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev having to pull out of the fight? I have only been following MMA since 2020 as on his first few fights. Should I still be excited for him? It's a tricky thing with him at this point, man. Like, I think I said this in Slack. I don't remember where I said it, but like, guy starts off with literally an unprecedented record-setting speed of fights that he had, and then just goes to barely fighting at all. It's so sad and so insane. But what is your feel with Khamzat at this point, and like the reliability? I mean, what do we do with him, man?
it's tough because I've been like kind of shitting on the guy for all week, and but it's like I have to kind of pull back because like he is sick, and like I don't want like I don't want to like really put my
On somebody who's physically not well.
physically ill. Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows how really bad, like how violently ill he really is.
Yeah. I mean, if he's in the hospital, like what we're seeing, that's not good.
Right, exactly, 1000%. So like, there's that. But I also have to kind of like say like, UFC's like using every part of what's left of him, and like they're like they're rose-tinted glasses on Khamzat in 2020, where he fought 3 times in 2 months, right? And like they are living off of that. Obviously, he's had 2 great fights with Usman and Burns, but like he doesn't fight, and he can't
Yeah.
fight in America. So, like,
It's a crazy spot to be in.
yeah, 1000%. So like, I don't know. It's tough. I hope he feels better. I hope we.
I mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
yeah,
we want him to be healthy, just in
yeah,
general. Yeah.
1000%. And he has not been the same since catching COVID. Which, so hopefully, I mean, realistically, when it all comes down to it, like, hopefully he doesn't become a what if. Like that's my biggest fear.
Yep. Yeah. No.
Even though Alex Pereira has become everything that everyone
That's a
said we,
great point.
you know,
Man, that is so true.
Potan Chama.
Oh, Don Chama, baby. God, what a guy. What a guy he has become. It just an instant Hall of Famer.
Less than 10 fights in the promotion.
Oh, man. Crazy stuff. But we'll talk more about that in next week. So before we get to that, you guys, we do have a little turf war. We have turf war back this week, Alex. So between our three, it's a triple header: UFC Saudi versus PFL Salt Lake City versus Bellator Dublin. Which one are we liking the most out of these? We have massive, I mean, bigger cards kind of outside the UFC one. How many fights are on this one in total here? Even we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 fights only in Saudi Arabia. And let's see, there might even one like dropped off today, even or something. Things have been falling apart. It's been a rough June. So,
14 fight on Bellator. Yeah, it's tough. Like, I'm going to PFL Salt Lake City because I really enjoy this card because of the light heavyweights. I think it's the best light heavyweight division the PFL has ever put on. But like putting it like honestly looking at the lineups, it's like, how can you not say UFC Saudi just because of the stakes, the name,
right.
the names on it. It's the first time the UFC's gone to Saudi Arabia, so it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be epic. So like, I'd be lying. Like, if I can make a case for Bellator and PFL to be better cards, but I'd just be lying. And it's UFC Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the main card is the big one there. The big kind of X factor sets it apart because, like, as we just talked about, UFC Vegas 93, we don't get these lineups very nice on fight nights anymore. But this, it's weird to make this comparison, right? But the main card for UFC Saudi Arabia, especially before, but even still right now, it's like, this is what they would put on a pay-per-view. Not that makes a pay-per-view worthy, but it's like the quality of what we're becoming used to seeing. So that's a lot better, though, than most of the fight nights. So it is good. It gets the slight edge here. But if we were to rank them, since there are three, Alex, I'll go 1 on Saudi Arabia, and then I think I will. I'm a little bit more. It's tough. It's kind of a coin flip between the Bellator and PFL one, but I'm gonna slightly Bellator for the second because of Jason Jackson. I'm really looking forward to that main event, and I mean the Clay Collard one's good too, of course, as we talked about. But that's kind of a coin flip. What do you think for 2 and 3?
I'm gonna go UFC PFL Bellator.
Okay, yeah, I'm not mad at either way you spin those. So, all right, that is turf 4. But with that, we will head on over to Spotlightville. Alex, taking a gander, one of our favorite places to visit each week. But who are we visiting this week, my friend?
Yeah, so I was gonna do. I mean, I do gotta say, gotta mention Felipe Lima stepping in on short notice. I mean, finally, the UFC signs a very good prospect.
Crazy, just flat out.
I mean, like, what? I mean, not forcing him to go to the Contender Series, and not, I mean, fuck it, his hell frozen over.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, bravo. Glad he's in the UFC. I'm gonna go to LFA 186. Khamzat Bekov in the main event against Chauncey Foxworth. There's a good chance that Khamzat wins this fight, gets a finish. He'll turn right around and fight on the Contender Series. Pretty good. And then the only one I want to do is Sydney Trio. She took let's see, so she took 2 years off after her first professional loss to Fatima Klein.
Okay,
So
not a bad one.
Not a bad loss. She had a whole lot of hype. Gets beat by Fatima, and takes 2 years off, and now signed a contract with LFA, and now she's fighting there. And she's a fun fighter. She's very pretty to look at. So keep an eye on Sydney Trio.
All right, there we have it, you guys. On my side of things, I mean, you pretty much take one for me, so I don't have to do as much work. Thank you, because of course I was very busy this weekend. So the person that I did highlight here, and this is kind of where my rant comes in. So this is kind of more on that side of things, but I had Sarah Collins highlighted here, the featherweight competing, 5-0, taking on Elena Kolesnik at Bellator Dublin, who I know Elena is one of your girls, Alex, but we're going with Sarah Collins. But the thing that kind of so Sarah Collins, she's good. She's a talented, prospect, featherweight. She's 33, so you can have your debates. We talk about this every time when it comes to prospects, but she is still inexperienced in terms of overall MMA. So there is that, but has looked good so far. Has submitted Pam Sorensen, who's a veteran, and then beat Sinead Kavanagh in her last fight, Alex. And that's where I'm going to complain about this fucking cards lineup, because Sarah Collins versus Elena Kolesnik is the 4th fight on this card. And it's not really so much. I get it. Sinead Kavanagh, she's a native to the country. She's the fight before the co-main event with Paul Hughes. Her and Arlene Blanco is the 3rd to last fight. The matchmaking, though. The matchmaking is the fucked up part of this. How the shit is she not the one fighting Arlene Blanco? Like, this pisses me off a lot, because Sarah Collins goes out there, gets the upset against Sinead Kavanagh on the last fight, and then they don't do anything about it. Like, don't give her a proper step up. Don't try and maximize a new, fresh fucking face to the division. I'm pretty sure that Arlene Blanco and Sinead Kavanagh probably fought before. Like, they've been in Bellator for a long time. I just clearly don't care very much about the division because they got rid of it in the PFL. But like, dude, come on, give me something new, give me something fresh. Sinead could have fought anybody, and you have her on the main card. People just want to see the hometown fighter, okay? You could have flip-flopped this easily. It should be Kavanagh versus Kolesnik and Blanco versus Collins. So that annoys me. That annoys me a lot.
Yeah, dude, go Ukraine versus Ireland and do a Australia face-off between Collins and Blanco.
There you go. Exactly. And I mean, I don't know.
And we just did Bellator's
did their job for them.
More than they did. So
yeah, ridiculous. But Sarah Collins, though, she's a good talented fighter at featherweight. And I guess, again, you could argue she doesn't even belong in this category, like I said, because she's a top 10 featherweight in the world because she beat Sinead. You look at just the rankings of who's there, so it's all messed up. Drives me insane. But great shout from Rio here. As he says, the massive prospect that they didn't sign was Edward Vartanian. In 2020, they wanted him to fight in the Contender Series, which is ridiculous considering how good he is. Even Caposo mentioned how good he is. Seen this. Yes, I've seen that. Vartanian 1,000,000% should be signed directly to the roster. So props to him for not kind of conceding to that offer, but the guy is really good, and he's probably going to fucking go over here now, go over to PFL Bellator, and then get stuck in one of these loops, or hopefully it'd be cool to see him in Ryzen or something fun like that. But yeah, he just lacking the name value, I think, is why that has kind of happened. But he's got way too much experience for a Contender Series. I don't know if you're aware of Vartanian, Alex,
it's just the UFC being fucking stubborn. It's just so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah, for sure. Alvin is here. Hello, gentlemen. I have not been around the internet due to personal issues. Well, just want to wish you all well. Reminder that we must be supportive of each other. Well, hope you're doing better, Alvin. Great to see you as always, my man. As we get ready for you come in at the right time. You come in right for the Dre Lex Movie Club as that wraps up our MMA segments here for the day. But we will get back to the questions and comments here afterward, you guys. So do not worry. Got you all tracked. So let's open it up here. As we have spoilers again, because not new movies, some older ones, which was the basis of the movie club to begin with. And we will start. Alex had Dead Poet Society this past weekend, and I had mid-90s, 2018 versus 1989. All right, Alex, trip down memory lane, a little refresher for your blind spots, as you said. How was it? How was the watch?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm confident I can say. I mean, it's pretty much a masterpiece. It's so good. There's a reason it's shown in fucking high schools.
Right.
It's a reason that people say it's one of Robert's fucking best. I mean, it's just so good, dude. Rob Williams is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, the movie just gets you right in the feels. It's a great movie, man. A young Ethan Hawke, you know. I think Rio said what's my best. It's got to be ripping the books, or even just the ending, like when Robin comes back to get his things, and then they're like, yeah, they made us say like basically saying like they made us fire you, you know. So yeah, it's just a great movie, man. It really is good. It holds up. That's like the really main thing is like an older does a movie hold up, right? And sure does. Yeah, highly recommend it. It's one of the best movies. So.
Yep, classic for sure. And does it jerk the tears at all for you in this one?
Oh, 1000%. Yeah, I was
gonna say.
I was teary eyed multiple times throughout it. Yeah, 1000%.
No,
I might have a black soul, but I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah, you know.
I can feel. It was a movie club. Yes, sensational movie with some great imagery and phenomenal message about growing up and maturing. Yeah, it is quite.
Yeah, like that's the big thing about it, right? Like, yeah, there's like some emotional moments, but like, it's a movie that makes you feel good, and it's a movie that like it's inspirational. So, yeah, it's good.
Yep, can't beat the classics there. So, all right, with that, we will take on a trip to a movie themed in a time right after this, but it came out in 2018, excuse me. As I had mid-90s here. Jonah Hill's directorial debut, as Alex informed me last week. Never even heard about it. Nothing of the sorts. Given me two pretty much kid movies back to back in terms of kid stars. So, of course, different ages here, but that was kind of a back to back theme here that I got, which not a complaint, but I noticed it. So, yeah, mid 90s. Man, I'm just gonna say, Jonah really perfectly captured the 90s, man. Like, just the whole feel of the movie. I mean, it was shot kind of, the grainy film, everything about it, the set, just the whole setting of the world. It felt like it was not from 2018, like incredible job with just the way that this was crafted. He did very good with that. And I don't, yeah, I mean, it felt like I'm curious what the budget would have been on this. I didn't look it up, Alex, but do you know? Because it felt like I feel like it's probably a little bit more, but felt like smaller.
I'll find out right now. Keep talking.
Yeah, so that was this is all complimentary. I love when people can kind of do that and make these settings feel that way. And I don't know if I've ever seen a movie like just straight up start, Alex. That was kind of nice and kind of cool. I was just, let's go. No, beating around the bush with the names or like, I don't know what you call the intro credits or whatever, but those kind of things, introducing all the roles and the production companies.
$1.7 million budget.
Wow. Okay. All right. So
Indie
Yeah, I
movie.
mean,
It was an indie movie.
yes, for sure, but great. I mean, I think that works perfectly for it. Like it was just fine. Um, yeah, it was an enjoyable watch. Again, this is one of those kind of it's a coming of age movie for sure. Kind of in a unique. I think it's more uniquely capturing the time though than it is focusing on our main character here. Sunburn. I'm forgetting his actual name, but good, good, good stuff. Um, I will say in terms of specifics, gotta throw out my shouts out there. Jay Farrow as the cop at the school. That was a hilarious scene, Alex. That was a good fun time. Some good banter, and how these kids, just doing their own thing and don't care about anything. That was like the big main thing here, which is super 90s. Hilarious ignorance with the pill scene. Alex, I'm sure he thought that one was funny.
Yeah.
A lot of moments like that. Incredibly super uncomfortable scene at the party. And since we are doing spoilers, I will say when Sunburn, our main character here, he was having his first moment with a lady, that made me feel very uncomfortable. So effective with that because he's so small, I think at the time, what he would have been 12 because I was looking at the actor at the time. He's 18 now, so this was 6 years ago, which is insane. But that is life. That is the 90s. So all these things are good and effective and working. I will say though, like, and I don't know if this was really a negative because of the movie, but Ray and fourth grade were like the only non-annoying friends, like I was super annoyed by fuck shit and the other guy. I
Fuck
just
shit.
didn't.
I me and my wife just started using fuck shit all the time after watching this. It was great.
That's perfect. Um, and in terms of kind of some issues or whatever, like the ending, like I like the very, very ending, but in terms of right there, how did he not get in trouble with the car crash? That didn't make sense to me. I thought that was kind of a plot hole there. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's not happening. Um, Oh, it was Stevie. That was his name. He kind of looked like Edward Furlong. That was just a little note I mentioned in there, a young Edward Furlong. But he was fine. Good, good. Sonny. I'm forgetting the last name, but that's the actor's name. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those time period movies. It's an enjoyable watch. I'd say a solid like 6, but um, again, not super memorable because you look at the Florida Project again. They're about these sections or environments and whatnot. The timing, of course, with this one and how things were, which again, brilliantly done. If you want like to feel like you're time traveling, watch this movie for sure. And there's a lot of entertainment value to it. But again, with the characters, they're not the greatest people. So that's why I just didn't care too much. Again, Ray seemed like probably the most genuinely good guy. And then Stevie was just kind of innocent, finding his way. Um, I know you're a big fan of was it Logan, the brother, right? With that
Yeah.
actor. Um, what's his
Lu-
last name?
Lucas Hedges.
Lucas. Okay, not Logan. Yeah, Lucas Hedges. He's pretty solid, and he was great in that role too. When he almost got into a fight with fuck shit, that was a pretty good part too.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's just like this and Florida Project. It just like it just takes you to a place. It just kind of like sticks you there and like
Oh
go.
yeah.
Like that's just what it is. It just like sticks you in a situation and goes right. Like there's not like a
Hmm.
big like not a big story building or
Right.
like plot building or whatever. It's just like here.
Yeah, no, 100%. They were both incredibly phenomenal at that. So, in terms of like atmospheric movies, again, that's the strength of kind of the ratings and these watches, which definitely recommend for those kind of things. Again, not just the best movie ever in terms of everything you kind of want from a movie, but when they're going for what they're going for, they fucking nail it. So, I think a great start for Jonah, and I mean, again, it gets across exactly what it's supposed to be. So, really fun, really, really an enjoyable one too. And I think perfect runtime, all that stuff. Yeah, very, very comfortably solid. Curious to see what he kind of takes on next because I'm assuming he hasn't made anything since then. But
He made a documentary that was really good called
oh,
Studs.
okay,
And then he has one called Outcome, follows Hollywood star Reef and who is forced to confront his parents and atone for his past after being threatened by a bizarre home video footage from his past,
Oh,
starring
okay.
starring Keanu Reeves.
What? Okay, you got me.
Mm.
Shit, I'm very curious now. All right, cool. Rio asking, were you a typical '90s dude in the '90s, Drake and Alex? So I was born in '95, so no, it doesn't count for me. But so this is an Alex question.
Yeah, I definitely was. I was
You
like,
skate at all?
no, I wasn't a skater, but I was like, I was just sports, like sports.
Yeah.
I was sports, but I was a nerd too. Like I was inside playing PlayStation, right? So I was kind of a mix. I was a mix between a nerd and like a sporty kind of '90s dude.
Yeah, I was kind of caught off guard by how heavy the skate kind of scene was in here, but like that was the time where shit fucking blew up, right? They mentioned Big
Yeah,
Brother in there, which I thought was great because anybody who knows even a little bit about skateboarding knows how massive that was. So that was cool to kind of see those Easter eggs of sorts because it wasn't a big part of the movie, but you know, get those mentions in there and how they have the professional guys who are like, oh, they were in Big Brother. Like, nice, good deal there, Jonah. Um, Rio says, "Did you run around your baggy pants and Vans shoes while saying, bro?" We
absolutely,
still
bro.
do that.
Yeah, it was Jinko jeans, bro. Jinko jeans.
Jinko jeans. There you go. Yes, for sure. Ever come home intoxicated like Stevie, then get into a very funny fight, Drake?
Yeah, he just did that like 2 days ago.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, last night. Yeah, on a serious note, no, not the fighting part, but yes, everything else. I did that at Alex's house. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
basically. Yeah, absolutely.
Release the footage. No, don't. But all right, that will conclude our movies from this past week. So let's move onward, Alex. Oh, settled in now. So we can do some new movies. I'm not sure what is in theaters. I know we're waiting on Deadpool next month and that fun stuff, but
Yeah,
what
let's wait for it. There's like nothing like really that like
popping in theater?
yeah. Even
So,
though Inside Out 2 is supposed to be very, very good,
oh yeah, I saw Stuckman
but
just did a review on that.
I'm gonna wait for that to be go to Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, so I put two movies on my list that I haven't seen just because like okay, we could still do ones that we both haven't seen and watch them. Like, I don't have to be movie theater movies, obviously, like brand new releases. So I guess I'll start with that mentioning, and I put this one on here because of who directed Florida Project again? Remind me. Let me look. Well, let's see if you can get it right here.
Uh,
Or maybe I'm thinking of the movie I watched before that. Oh no, that was Sean Baker. I'm thinking of
Tom Bigger.
the one. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, here we are. I'm thinking of hold on, loading. George Miller. That's from Mad Max. Yeah.
Oh,
He made 3,000 Years of Longing a couple years ago. Did you ever see that one?
I sure did.
Okay, so I didn't get to see it, so I was gonna ask if that was one we could do, but just I'm curious now. Worth getting around to? No,
Uh, it's aight. It's aight.
it's all right. Nothing crazy. All
No,
right. All right.
I'm sorry, bro. You're watching Star Wars this week.
Oh, great. Okay.
1977.
I'm trying to get away from it.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Nah,
Uh,
you ain't getting away from it. You're watching Star
okay.
Wars.
Okay. So Star, you said 1997? 77. I was
1977.
gonna say, wait a minute.
The original Star Wars.
So what is the like title of that, right? Because it's like episode fucking 3 or some shit.
A New Hope. A New
The
Hope.
new, okay. Oh man. Here we go. Alrighty. Will do. And that should probably be pretty easy to find. That's okay. And then for you, my friend, I'm gonna throw at you here right now. Oh, did you ever see Super from 2010? Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson. Fuck. No.
Oh, okay.
James Gunn. Wow.
Yeah, this is a personal hidden gem, so we'll see if you like it. But kind of that same. I think what the visibility or kind of culty one is filth in that kind of department. Um, yes. So, all right. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about that one. All right, Star Wars boy. Here we go. You better not make me do this for like 8-10 weeks.
10 weeks. Nah. Nah. The most I might do is the original trilogy. Maybe even Empire Strikes Back, just because it's the best one. But
Okay.
but no, we'll just start with Star Wars. We'll kind of see.
I mean, if I just get hooked right away, then I'll just get to it myself. So
Yeah. I kind of see what the vibe is. You know what I'm saying?
okay, all
It's
right,
just,
fair
bro.
enough.
It's an iconic movie. You have to fucking
I
watch.
know, I definitely do. Okay, so before we close up movie club here and finish off the questions, have you you're a fan of The Boys, right?
Oh, bro, yeah,
Are
absolutely.
you? I haven't caught up yet because I've obviously been moving, but are you caught up on everything?
Yes.
Good, off to a good start for season 4.
Yeah. Off to a good start. House of Dragons. Holy shit
Right, that
almighty. Woo, woo,
just started. Yeah.
woo. Boy, oh boy, yeah. So
Good
MMA might
time.
have MMA might have broken our hearts in June, but TV.
Yeah, the TV is back.
Yes.
Things you love to see. All right. Now, let's wrap it up, you guys, with the questions. Appreciate you so much. And yeah, Rio says just the originals. I know that some of the later ones people have not been too big on, but we'll see. I feel like at a certain point, you get too curious to not like. We'll see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it just. I mean, you have to vibe. If you
Yeah.
vibe with it, you're gonna fucking do it. But we'll see.
I don't remember. Did I ask you if you like Star Trek at all?
Yeah, I'm.
You're
Yeah,
all right on it?
yeah, I'm alright. I'm definitely more Star Wars than Star Trek, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, going back to Mateus here. He says Dana said on Fight Inc. It's not about the money as he flies overnight in a private jet to the Italian coast and played blackjack on a private yacht. Automated bonuses for finishes. All right, I thought that was going to be a question, but good highlight there. Yes. Good observation. All right, Synchro here. Now that you guys have seen Fight Inc., doesn't it make Dana and Hunter Campbell look worse? And why are people glazing him when he is responsible for these horrendous cards? So, yeah, I've only seen kind of the clips. I haven't caught up on the actual series yet, but from what I have seen, yeah, I don't think it makes them look great. Like I love the behind the scenes stuff. I appreciate that so much, and the fact they even put that out there. And I don't know if I'd say it's a more of them. I don't know. What would you say? Is it more of them not caring how they look, or they think they actually look good? I can't think that they'd be. But then at the same time, Dana makes those videos trashing us and shit.
I don't know. It's like to a normal person watching the Roku series, I don't think they would give a fuck how they look, like I get or how they come off or anything. Because like yeah, they come off like I don't know. It's like I'm too close to the situation, right?
Yeah,
And like some people or like kind of know what's up. So like I feel like taking that away, like a normal person just watching a documentary, I don't think they would care. You know,
right. Yeah, that's a great point.
I do appreciate we never see Hunter Campbell, so like
Yes.
this was like his very first like here he is, like here's the
Yeah.
guy there, like here's Oz, right? Like here you go. Um,
Especially on like something they made. Like, of
yeah,
course, he was out for the USADA press conference or whatever, but that's been like it.
yeah, 1000%. I mean it's only the worst thing about it is like the Aljo situation, just because like
Right.
Aljo has been so vocal about it, but like he kind of in this, he says you want to fight or not, like you don't have to. Like he was very, you know, I don't know. I'm like conflicted on it.
Yeah. And I think it could have been worse too. Like, of course, not great, but it wasn't like he was
Yeah,
demanding. You know,
1,000, yeah, 1,000%, bro. He didn't come off like the devil, right? Like he didn't come
right.
off like that, and he didn't come off like an angel either, bro. So like, I don't know. I just to answer this question, like, does it make them look worse? Yeah, to fight fans it does, but like to the normal viewer, no, they won't. They wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even know.
And it's also like, well, how much worse would you say? It's not like completely awful, like yeah, Satan, like you said
And
there.
it's
So
dude, they're no fucking Joe Silva, like
yes, we know about
yeah.
that. Oh boy. Cade, what is up, dude? How are you? Hope you're well. As he says, it's just business behind the scenes. Yeah, for sure. That is what everyone's always got to remember. It is a business. As Mateus here, though, chiming in and saying Dana and Hunter are predators. I dislike their methods even more, considering the resources available at their disposal. Hunter exiting the SUV after talking with Jones gave me sex trade vibes. Wow.
Okay.
Fair. I mean, you're entitled. Yeah, it's again, they are doing their thing, I guess. Synchro says, why does PFL do that weird thing where they hold heavyweights and flyweights, two bad divisions for 1 week, but the next week they are doing lightweights, which is really good. More incompetence from Don Davis was the rest of that part. But I'll tell you right now, Synchro, I'm pretty sure it is entirely just weight things, because you look at, they used to do heavyweights and lightweight women, then it was heavyweights and featherweight, and now it's flyweight. They're just doing it's math. They're doing simple math. There's no rhyme or reason to that specifically.
Yeah.
That's how they pair them.
Then they should definitely switch it up a little bit because it's been rough.
Because what is this week? It's lightweight and
Lightweight and light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, yeah. So,
but last year it was light heavyweights and featherweights.
Right. So I guess they kind of mix up the middle ones a bit, but that's what they've done with heavyweight entirely has been that with the women. Yeah, so like that's just fact. Ghost says maybe for the end of the show, so here we are. But despite operating on one eye, he has surprisingly good depth perception and distance control, as he's talking about Shara Bullet. Yeah, very true. Can a reporter please ask Shara Bullet or Dana why he can't get a fight in the U.S. and how he gets allowed to fight with a single eye? So yes, I know that's been a big concern or question about him getting sanctioned by promotions or whatever. And I've asked people close to him about that, actually. And one person, I've asked one person close to him, and he says he's not sure if he actually, and I haven't seen him say anything about if he can see or not. Like, his eyes are different color, of course, but I don't know if he's actually blind in that eye. So I forget the term for what that's called, Alex, when you have two different colored eyes, but
I heard he's like partially blind.
Okay.
Which doesn't make the situation any better.
Yeah. I mean, but again, you gotta realize Bisping got away with things. Of course, he hit it a lot better, but yeah, I think that would be a great. You know what? I'm sure Dana doesn't even fucking know, and I feel like he might have been asked about that after the debut, if I'm remembering correctly. But that would be a good question for Shara specifically, and I know that he just did a full podcast with Dennis over at Red Corner, so shout out to them. You can check that out on their on the YouTube channel, which has subtitles and everything. So maybe they addressed it there. That would be great, because I've talked to Dennis about that too. But Rio says the question we should all be asking about Usman Magomedov, who his fight got announced today. What drug did he get tested positive for? He tested positive in Bellator, but now nobody's talking about it or calling out PFL. You know what? We should get to the bottom of this week, Alex. Let's ask around. Let's try and find out for you guys, because that is a great question and a big mystery. And I'm sure they might not even know, the PFL people now, but I mean, that would be a good thing to find out.
I will try and dig around. Okay?
Yes, we'll see what we
All right,
can
Rio,
do.
I'll do it just for you, just because.
There you go.
Just because you mentioned it, okay?
Yeah, you asked nicely. And Jersey closing us out here says, as I've mentioned in the past, I attend UFC pay-per-view events. Why are the seats for the McGregor versus Chandler card still being sold at a massive number, despite the main event no longer being held?
So the tickets have gone down a lot in price, but they're still expensive because it's International Fight Week and people are going to buy it no matter what.
There you go. I'm also not so sure how flexible those things are with timing. sure could be a factor, but you pretty much nailed it there. Yeah.
If you want to go to fight, go to fight nights. If you want cheaper tickets, don't.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Go to Denver on July 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. UFC pretty bulletproof though in that regard with the ticket sales, so they're not going to drop them for that one. And hey, let's close off with this, Alex. UFC 303, is it better now? Is it actually better than it was before? I think so.
1,000%. It's 1,000% a better event. Obviously, it's not as massive as Conor, and I wanted Conor to fight. You wanted Conor to fight. Our outlet wanted Conor to fight. The world wanted Conor to fight. Hopefully, he will fight. But as of right now, yeah, UFC 303 is way better than what it was.
Yeah.
Although that featured bout between Macy and whoever the fuck his
name. And Myra.
Yeah, and Myra Buena Silva. Get that shit off the baby.
Oh, come on, that'll be fun. That'll be good.
I'm gonna need a fucking. How are you gonna argue that should be on the main card?
You'll need an op-ed piece on the website from me.
1,000%. Because get that shit off the fucking baby.
You know what? That's not a bad. You guys want to know how to get the views? Let your boy do some work this week.
Yeah, bro. Fucking, I'm gonna need you to argue against that because holy shit, get that off the fucking pay-per-view immediately.
Well, that'll close us out, you guys. Sound and Pound, episode 36. We appreciate you all so much for tuning in. Another week here. The Wild 3 event weekend. Get ready for International Fight Week next week. Will be a fun old time. Looking forward to it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, you guys. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. You can even subscribe to our newsletter on the website so you always get the articles right in your email inbox, right where they belong. But other than that, you can follow us at @DrakeRoogs_, at Alex Behunin on the Twitter machine, on the Instagram machine. And you can check out the stuff that we got coming this week. Alex, any specific plugs? Of course, the event coverage, but tidbits or interviews, anything?
I don't have a tidbit. I just talked with Jorge Masvidal 20 minutes before the podcast started, so that will be out. That will be out today. He had a lot to say, and tidbits. I will be in Salt Lake City, so there'll be some stuff about PFL this week, and I'm looking forward to your op-ed about Myra Buena Silva and Macy.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have to do that now. Okay, let's send it, dude.
Full send, bro. Full send.
You guys can look forward to that next week then, because it's pointless to do it now, but we'll get it for Fight Week. All right then. I'm expecting plenty great timing with Jorge, because I'm sure you have plenty to say about Mr. Sonnen, who we didn't mention that fight at all, but wasn't much of a fight if you did see it.
Bro, I saw sparring harder than that Extreme Couture last Tuesday.
It was insane. Yep. Not surprised by that, considering the one practice I saw from Chael before he left. It was pretty much the same thing. Maybe a little bit harder.
It's tough.
Shout out to him and Jake Smith. But yeah, for me, you guys, also going to be dropping an interview this week. Today, actually. Yeah, I'll be dropping my chat with Clarissa Shields here in probably an hour or so to kick off the shift here. Then spoke to Chris Cyborg last week before her boxing match. She won over the weekend over in London. You can check out that one if you have not yet on the website. Of course, that Yasmin Najera one's still there. And then spoke to Corey Sandhagen before I moved as well. So check that out. I'll be dropping it next week, probably. We'll have that one on Monday, most likely. And then Braun Horizon episode 40 also going to be coming within these next 2 weeks as well, kind of finishing up some things there, but a lot going on, you guys. And then for those of you who have been following along the video game stuff and whatnot on my personal channel, I'll just throw it out there. We'll get back on it this week. We'll have some fun with Bully again, as that was what a wild talk about time machines and timing of the world. Rockstar in peak form with that game. But all right, you guys, on that note, we will see you next week. Same time, same place. We are out. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody.